guys, welcome to Sober Talk. Woo! Hey, do me a favor, check out the TV there. It should say KYSBestHemp.com, KYSBestHemp.com. Use promo code TOM30 and get 30% off when you're checking out. You're our sponsor, making it possible for me to hire somebody. So let's rock this out. Here we go, people. Woo! Hey. Welcome to Sober Talk. You're here because you want to get sober. You need to get sober, or perhaps you're just sober curious. For whatever the reason is, I am glad you're here. So how do you know if you have a drinking problem? It's real easy if it causes problems. I have quit many a times. I have quit for 3 months, 6 months, a year. I even went 2 years. Then COVID came about, and I fell off the wagon really times. And quitting sometimes it's not as hard as staying quit. I know it's kind of tough to jumpstart. You're just like, God, man, I can't seem to jumpstart. I can't get 2 days under my belt. But go see, man, if you want to quit, go see a doctor. And if you need help, we have so many people here. If you go to sobertalklive.com, you could click over to, or just on the Facebook page, Sober Talk Live, you could click over to the private group, and there's a lot of people with a lot of experience. And they're sobriety advocates like myself. I was a drunk man. I was just there's nothing that anyone watching here right now could tell me that they've done that I have not done worse. I have ruined relationships. I've ruined business deals. I have almost ruined family with my kids, my wife, everything. It's just, and I finally realized, you know what? It's robbing me of my full potential. It's robbing me of money. It's robbing me of life. It's robbing if I think I'm saving about, I don't know, I could buy a new car with the money. I could buy a spaceship with the money that I have saved by quitting alcohol. There's a lot of ways to quit. A lot of people, just a symptom. You're self-medicating. Drinking is just a symptom of you being restless, irritable, and discontent. Drinking is, again, that's not the problem. The problem is you. It's called RID, restless, irritable, discontent. And you could quit drinking, but if you're not medicating those issues, that maybe they're from your childhood, maybe there's some kind of trauma, maybe there's some kind of abandonment. If you're not fixing those, you will eventually realize like just one drink is going to make it all better. It's going to make it all numb. And then it's going to be you drink to deal with problems, and then the drinking becomes a bigger problem than the problems that you're trying to cover up. And next thing you know, you're at the doctor, and he goes, "Hey, you got cirrhosis of the liver." My check liver light did come on. I joke about it, but it did. And I was just drinking beer. I wasn't even drinking like a lot of my friends on here, this community here. They're drinking, a fifth a day, a gallon a day of vodka, bourbon, whatever, and then I got myopathy, alcohol-induced cardiomyopathy. Got to where I couldn't even walk upstairs. And I was a runner. I ran mini marathon, the Derby mini marathon. I ran every single year. And again, just life happened, and it was just easier to drink. Hey, and look, you call it a disease, call it an allergy, whatever. I'm trying to take the stigma away from it here. I'm kind of somewhat in a public figure, in the public eye, and it sucks that I'm wired this way. It does. It sucks, but it is what it is. I can't help it. I cannot drink like a normal person. And if you feel that way, if you want to quit, no, this is a good stepping stone. Right now, I'm doing the steps. I'm doing AA, and I'm pretty excited about it. A lot of high hopes with the AA there, and you hear people say, I tried AA, it didn't work, and you go, what steps? Tell me, recite the 12 steps, and they can't. And once you start learning those steps and you find the right meeting, I like the Zoom meetings because I never found the right meeting, but I really like the Zoom meetings. You can Google AA Zoom meetings, and you can turn your camera off, you can turn your mic off, and just listen. But you need to go and get a sponsor if you choose the AA route. A lot of people, we have people who are sober 25, 30 years, never did AA. They do church. They do. I have an addiction therapist, Jane Gaynor in Louisville, Kentucky, is an incredible therapist, and she's my therapist, and can't say enough good things about working with a therapist. But if you want to quit, you know, email me. There's so many different options out there. Maybe you need to go get professional help. Maybe you need to just say, oh, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I tell my wife, I don't want AA. It's embarrassing. She's like, what? Peeing at the bar? At the bar at Gerstow's is not embarrassing? Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't care. My drinking wasn't anonymous. Done a lot of crazy things. All right, there you have it. So, sometimes on the show we talk war stories, and sometimes those war stories are hilarious, and sometimes those war stories they end with people losing their family, their jobs, and sometimes they end in death. We definitely have had people who are no longer with us, and there's people who it just sucks. It's alcohol is it's if you have cancer, you go down to the Brown Cancer, you go center. If you have alcoholism, you go treat it, get it fixed. It's like if you are stage 4 or 5 cancer or whatever stage, the highest stage you could possibly go, and someone say, hey, we got a cure for you. Yeah, there's this therapist. Here's this group. Here's a treatment center. Here's a whatever. Speaking of treatment center, big shout out to RAC, the Robert Alexander Center. It's 5 minutes. I got to visit this. I joked the other day. Robert Alexander Center. .com, robertalexandercenter.com, a great facility. If I ever relapse, I'm looking forward to relapsing because this place was incredible. And we do have a sponsor too. It's kysbesthemp.com, and they're making it possible for me to hire someone to actually run the cameras and such. And so, yeah, check that out. KYS Best Hemp. If you do buy that sort of thing, CBD, I'm a big proponent for. I'm all about the hemp. I own the hemp wellness farm actually, and I can vouch for those guys. Are good. And if you check out, if you do buy from them, use promo code Tom30. Tom30 and get 30% off. So let's get right to our first caller here. Man, I'm glad you guys are here. This is Sober Talk. I do this. We pretty much do it right now during the holidays, just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we will probably do something tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, and definitely do something New Year's Day for the resolutions. But I'm excited to have this. I saw this girl, old friend of mine, and she said that um, she is. Oh, can I make this work? Hold on here. Here we go. Let's see here. Hold and accept. Check one. Hey, can you hear me? Test. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I
Hey,
can hear you.
how are you?
Hi,
Wait, we
I'm great.
we
How
are
are
live,
you?
by the way. Congratulations. I think you
Thank
and I,
you.
we've over the years, you and I have been drunk in the same place before. I'm sure.
Maybe once or twice.
Maybe once or twice. We have on the phone. We'll just call her Tess, and Tess is today is 6 months.
Today's 6 months.
Wow. What made you
Yeah,
quit? What
I
made you?
quit.
How did you do it? What made you do it?
Well, I don't think anything really made me do it or make me do it, but I think it was just time.
Mm-hmm.
It was time to be healthy, come to terms with a few things that, had happened in my life. And I just felt that it was time. And I had a beautiful family who loved me. And I just, you know, took a few things into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and they say alcoholism and drug addiction all kind of comes from some kind of trauma or abandonment in your childhood, and when I usually
Hmm.
and that's when I talk with people about that, and again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just some dude. I'm like a month behind you. I'm at 5 months. Uh, I'm just some guy using his followers to be held accountable, to hold me accountable. So, but when I do ask people about when I bring that up,
Hmm.
from my studies and the work that I'm doing in recovery, when I
Hmm.
mentioned, there was only like 2 people who said, I had no trauma nor abandonment. I had a great childhood, a great family,
Right.
but
Hmm.
most people had some kind of, I never knew my dad growing up. He ran off and
Right.
he ran off and hid. There's always something, that that can cause it. And I found out my dad was an alcoholic. My mother was an alcoholic. I come
Mhm.
from a
Right.
whole line of people with that disease, allergy, or whatever you want to call it. And so yeah.
Right.
But so how did you white knuckle it? Did you get a little professional help, or what did you do?
No, I actually did it on my own. So it was June the 30th, and I just had some time to do a little bit of soul searching, and there were some people in my life who had pointed out, behavior, and I just kind
Yeah.
of did really some soul searching and said, what kind of person am I, and what kind of person should I be? And to be kind of blunt about it, I didn't like that person that was, drinking 4 or 5 days out of the week, couldn't remember things. I was losing my, words to say, and, it was aging me inside and
Oh
out.
wow, isn't it
And,
amazing? That's my vein got me
mhm.
when I started realizing my full handsome potential when I quit drinking. I still got a ways to go. I think about 7 years from now, I'm gonna be hot. I'm gonna be good looking. No, but it does. I mean, I couldn't walk up the stairs. I was getting cardiomyopathy, and I was my checked
Mhm.
liver light
Mhm.
came on, and
Right.
I went to the
Yep.
doctor. He pressed on my liver, and an Uber pulled up. I was joking about that, but it's bad. But what were you drinking?
Well, I started early. So I started drinking 12, 12, 13,
Wow.
and pretty much drinking pretty regularly at 15.
What was your drink of
And when
choice?
I
What was your
say
drink of choice? And you were drinking like
any, anything I could get my hands on,
garbage can.
nasty beer,
Yeah.
cheap vodka,
Billy
you
beer.
name it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was I would hit it pretty hard in high school, and then I was drinking, you know, whiskey, Jack Daniels, you name it. I was doing it. But then as
Wow.
I got older, I was drinking a lot of beer. I drank quite a bit of beer and vodka. I would drink vodka. So over the course of the years, I've been drinking pretty much like that up until I was 50, and I
Did you
turned
ever go to
50
the
last
gym? Did you
year.
ever go to the gym with vodka and a water bottle?
No, I had not done
You're an
that,
amateur, loser. No, I'm teasing.
but but I would try to sneak it in anywhere I could. So yeah, I've probably pulled out all the tricks. Um,
They're
and
they're
I,
they're toward the end.
pretty heavy drinker.
Oh no, me too, me too. And I don't mean to keep interrupting. First of all, it's great to hear your voice. I haven't spoken with you
Yeah,
in a
no,
minute. It's been
no,
been a
yeah,
long
you're
time.
good. Ask away.
But oh no, that's yeah, I got. They say we will lie our asses off, man. When I'm not drinking, it is
Sure,
cunning,
sure.
baffling, and powerful. This disease. I'll call it a disease because if you don't stop, you can die from it. You
Mhm.
will die from it.
Right.
Uh,
Mhm. Yep.
and I gotta tell you, I was buying, so I was drinking at the office, drinking Bud Light, and I'm like, I can't go
Mhm.
home. I started drinking at lunch, and during COVID,
Right.
my little production studio here, and no one's here, and I'm like, oh, what the hell. And I
Mhm.
would buy old duels or some kind of alcohol free, and I would pour that beer out and pour the real beer in it, and walk in the house with one, and to
Right. Yeah.
cover up
To hide it.
the beers. Yeah,
To
we'll do
hide it.
anything.
Cover it
Yeah,
up.
and when you get
Right.
it, and when you there,
No,
there,
certainly.
and while you're in that total chaos, it seems normal, but when you get away from it, you go, what the hell was I doing? Oh my
You're
gosh.
exactly right. Yeah. And even after, for the past 6 months, it's been time of reflection. And, it's like being on the outside looking in. Everything's very clear now. So everything that anyone had ever talked to me about my drinking, anyone who ever acted peculiar or whatever, I can now see it that I'm sober. I
Yeah.
couldn't see it. I couldn't see it with the alcoholism. I didn't want to see it. So there was a little bit of denial.
No, we don't want to.
And
We feel, therefore, I grew up, oh, his dad's an alcoholic. Oh, no, you can't spend the night over there. He's an
right,
alcoholic.
yeah,
Mom
kind of
hasn't
with
drank in
the
10 years.
stigma. Yeah,
There's such a stigma, and I can't believe the stigma
right.
toward treatment. Like, no, if you're sick, like I said
Mhm.
before you came up, if you got cancer, you're going down to the Brown Cancer Center. If you need help
Right.
getting,
Mhm.
and some people, I don't suggest quitting on your own because you can die. Definitely, try to get professional help. Now, are you doing any kind
Mhm.
of steps now or rational recovery or anything? Or
Mhm.
are you, my concern, reason why I ask, a lot of people when they quit, they get okay, they got that, but you drank to self medicate to deal with those feelings or whatever
Right.
happened to you, when you were a kid or whatever. And those are still because you stopped drinking. You need to the drinking is just a symptom of that
Mhm.
stuff. It's
Mhm.
restless, irritable discontent. And if you're not,
Sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, are you working on the issues that
So
made you drink?
no.
Oh,
So
mm,
first question.
okay,
No, I'm not doing any steps. I quit cold turkey.
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think I had my last drink on a Friday, and then that Sunday, I said, "Hey, I really think it's time. I'm not going to drink." Now, I never said I was going to quit. I just said, "I'm not going to drink."
Gotcha,
That's that was
gotcha.
kind of my mantra going through.
Uh huh.
The process. It was a process. So I did a cold turkey. I didn't reach out to anyone. I hardly told anyone I was stopping, like because of failure, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to commit to anyone. I didn't want to talk about it. I was just in my head so deep that I said, you know what? I'm not going to drink. So it was a kind of in the moment, like stay in the moment. Don't think about when you're going to see your best friend to have drinks. Don't think about
Yeah.
what you're going to do during dinner to have your glass of wine. Don't. So in my mind, I kept thinking, I'm just not going to drink.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. I can't add anything to it. I can't take anything from it. I just said, right now, think about right now. Don't think about 15 days. Don't think about my cousin's wedding in October where I'm just probably going to get blasted out of my mind. Perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what worked for me may not work for the next person.
So my,
So
my
there's no
question is not. So
shame.
it's not quitting. Is just one thing. Again, the disease is not the alcohol. My concern, and I see this a lot. I saw it with me. I quit. I quit for my. Remember, went 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and I actually went two
Hmm.
years. But then when stuff started, I didn't have the tools to deal with stuff that came up in my life, and
Right.
my only
Hmm.
tool that I could grab was Bud Light or bourbon and Coke, and
Sure.
I was self
Hmm.
medicating. So,
Sure.
but
Hmm.
now I'm teaching myself how to. I'm not teaching myself. I'm getting help. Uh, how to
Hmm.
deal with when life happens.
Right.
When life
Hmm.
happens. So
Yep.
that's my concern when people just quit. Quitting is just part. Again, drinking is not the problem.
Hmm.
Drinking is just a symptom of your restlessness, your
Hmm.
irritable and discontent. So just something to think
Right.
about. Something to think
Hmm.
about. So you're not. Are you seeing a therapist
But
or?
no, no, and I think it passed. For me, it passed. Like for the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, it was challenging. It was summertime. Everyone's drinking. COVID's happening. Everyone's drinking. Can't
Right.
find a bottle on the shelf. So you know it's worked for me. So I'm still soul searching and I'm learning every day. Like I learned something new about myself. But
That's
what I
awesome.
know most now, well, and two, it's not. Um, I've had some challenging days, but it passes. And you've got to think in your head. What's most important today and how you're going to get through the day. So in
Right.
the moment has helped me tremendously.
Good.
And to this, I do it every day. So then when I get a stressful moment or I'm just ready to explode and I think, oh, now would be a good time to have a glass of wine.
Right.
That would be my go to. Now I think, oh, I'll just go and turn on some good music, see what kind of new music. So it's a constant replacement, it's your thought process. I replace things with like, hey, you know, this time yesterday I probably already would have been drinking, but so it's just that you've got to trick your mind basically, I guess. Is
Yeah,
that the right
yeah,
way
yeah.
to
And that
think
and
about it? Right?
well, good. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you quit, and I'm hoping that you're just learning, getting the tools to deal with life, because there's there's always something, with me. There's so many triggers. It could be getting in a fight with Melanie, or getting, Kenzie going off to college, and I'm worried. Or
Mhm.
Monday's a trigger. Laundry's a trigger. Anything could be a trigger, and just that one. So what I need, because I've tried it. Like I said, I went 2 years that one time, and it still wasn't. And I thought, I got this beat. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Mhm.
healed.
Right.
I'm
Sure.
healed. And it wasn't a week, and before it was all hell broke loose. So this
Nope. I
time I'm doing
mean, you
different.
said it. You said it earlier too. You have to find what's the root cause. What
Right.
drives you to
And
drink.
that's what I'm at. So
You
are
know.
you dealing with that root cause? If you have that root cause, are you dealing with it?
I think that there's things that pass and there's things that stay with you forever. And I think those things you have to, those forever things, you have to just be better than that, right? And again, it's probably a little bit deeper, but
Well,
acceptance is a huge um, step to take.
yeah. Well,
You just when you're in your life and there's been things that happen to you, and you have to say, you know what, I'm going to deal with it one or two ways. I can either fight it and continue to fight it and use it as a crutch, or two, I can accept it so I can become a better person or be better than that situation or do better than what someone did to you. So
yeah.
there's, you have a choice, and you make that choice very clearly now. So without the alcohol, I think the benefit to it is that I can be stronger than that demon. And I try not to use that word, but
No, no. Addiction, it will
you
lie to
know,
you. Addiction will convince you that you love the booze more than you do
yes,
your family. It did it for me
absolutely,
for years. It did it for me for
yep,
years.
absolutely.
I love the
And
I love the
it's a
alcohol more than
choice,
I did my family. Well, it was a
right?
choice, and I don't. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But it took a while to get healed from that, and I'm still trying to heal. I don't want to go
Hmm.
back. Hey, what were some of the rock bottoms? What were some of the bad stuff that happened?
Um, you know, so I became active. Like I'm working out almost every other day, doing some form of exercise. Listen to a lot of music.
That's not a
I'm
rock
working from
bottom. That's
home.
good though. I'm talking about what.
I know.
I mean, did you
I
get?
had a feeling you were going to ask me this
No, I
question,
mean,
so
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I came
I don't
home.
want to
I
be
came home with
negative,
a.
but
I came home with an emotional support hooker. No, she's okay. It's an emotional support hooker. I'm teasing.
no, but I have a loving family. I
Okay,
have
good.
honestly not talked. I have not talked to a lot of people about becoming sober.
Okay, well,
Probably
I didn't
because
use your
a lot of
last name, and
people.
I wasn't trying to embarrass you. I just was trying to
Oh no,
figure out.
that's fine.
I was just
No,
trying to
no,
figure out
no.
what it was. What was the straw that broke the camel's back to make
Right.
you? Okay,
Yeah.
enough's
Yeah.
enough. Did you get some blood work
You
back?
know.
Did you just like, oh, jeez, I was
Yeah.
passing out
No,
on the
it was
couch. So
time. Right. Nope.
yeah, I
I
get
had
it.
a couple. My family was very instrumental, and now
Good,
that
good.
I'm sober, I can clearly see how that. I can see clearly. I can see how it affected them. I can, you know, didn't want the love to deteriorate over time because it would cause issues.
Yes, it will.
Nothing comes good of it. So
I've
that's
never done anything
uh,
embarrassing or bad sober. I mean, I'm an idiot, so I'll mispronounce a
exactly.
word, but I've never done
Oh
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy, but when I drink,
Right.
I could be your worst friend. I could be
It's yeah.
don't cross me. I'm a total ass. I'm a total freaking ass when I'm a happy drunk, but if I get crossed, I mean, I will go to the ends of the earth to make your life miserable, and I've done it, and it's awful. It's awful, and God,
I
let me
don't think
bring
I've
don't.
seen. I've not seen you that way.
Well, yeah, but it's because it's a rarity. But when it does happen, boy, does it! I'm like, I'm not going. I'm going down swinging. But anywho, it's
I I think one challenge in it all also is that you're alone in your thoughts. You think that if I have a glass of wine, I'll clear my head. The glass of wine's kind of your best friend. Nothing like at the end of the day, popping the cork, whatever it may be, and you've been. That's a sign of relief when you hear that can pop. And automatically you switch to kind of a different universe. But
Right,
now
and a lot
you're
of people can,
alone
a lot
by
of people,
yourself.
and you're doing it by yourself, and and a lot of people can
Right.
do that. I need a glass of wine. Meet me at Ramsey's. We're having a drink,
Sure.
or
Yep.
and it sucks. It sucks that I'm not wired that way. No. I'm gonna have,
Right.
you say the beer was my best friend. We went everywhere together. Hell, we were going to
Mhm.
church. We were
Mhm.
going to church together. I mean, I would go to church with a
Hallelujah.
3 or 4 beer buzz. I was 5 beers in before the garage door shut, going to meetings. Oh my word! No, but it's, and I joke about it now, but man, it is the things I've done and talk. I mean, a lot of them are funny or just plain embarrassing. Some are god
Right.
awful, but I mean, I've had a lot of fun times back in the day
Yep.
drinking. But when it got out of control, man, it wasn't good. And my
Yep.
health, my family, and I just can't afford to be stupid anymore. I'm on the last half of my
Well.
life. The first quarter of your life, it's like a ball game. You're shooting half court shots. You're dunking behind your back. You get my age, and you're going to the doctor. You're like, don't foul out, don't foul out. You just don't do anything stupid. And that's where I'm at. I want to be, because right now you start noticing, okay, my memory's going. It's a little harder to
Mhm.
get up the stairs, or whatever it may be. And if you continue to
Right.
drink like this,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to hit. I would never hit to be. I would never live to be like 55 years old or anything like that. And
Right.
I,
And
and or if 60 if I continued to drink, and I would die a young man. And I love to really
right.
love to live a long. I got a lot of life left, and you do too. And
You do. And
congratulations.
you're
Eh,
doing the right thing.
have you
So stay
noticed?
the course.
Did you hit a lot of? Did you when you quit? Did you hit a lot of chocolate? A lot of say, I hit the cake. I gained weight. I gained weight when I quit drinking.
Well, to be honest, I have been at the same weight for the last 3 years. So I haven't gained nor lost weight when I quit drinking. See, I thought I would lose a lot of weight, but nope,
You
I
will
sure
once your
didn't.
body
Plus, I'm
stops missing the sugar.
51. So,
Well,
yep.
you look
So,
good for 51, and I'm happy that you. And I know you probably
thank
got
you.
that booze bloat, the booze bloat that we get, from drinking. God, I look like it now because the
Uh,
holidays were tough on me. Holidays, I ate a whole lot. Boy, cookies, cookies, cookies. So, well, it was so great to talk with you. Thanks for being, and please check out Sober Talk Live on Facebook. And there's a private group in
I
there.
will.
Yeah, and there's a
Uh-huh.
there's a there's a private group in there. Just sign up. It's you don't need to be approved, and everything's free. It's just a bunch of people. We got a couple hundred people in the private group who we become a little a community. And when someone's struggling, someone say, "Here's what I did when I was struggling," or when they're like, "Oh my,"
Sure.
it's just
Hmm.
a great hang. It's a great hang. And so check that out. And there's a lot of experience in there, and maybe you could help someone too.
Well, I'm glad that we touched base. So, and I'm happy to hear that you're at 5 months
Yeah, yeah.
and just stay in the moment.
All right. Thanks, Tess.
So, and I hope
Appreciate you.
that
Go ahead.
absolutely take care. Talk
Well,
to you soon.
hey, I didn't mean to rush you off, but thanks for taking the call.
Oh, anytime. I hope I did okay.
You did great. All right, we'll see you. Bye bye.
Oh,
Bye.
okay. Bye.
That was my friend Tess. I know her family, and yeah, she and I. We always have these conventions or conferences. My wife knew them, and I was always the husband that went along, and she was always the wife that went along, and we just drank and drank, and boy, wow, a lot of crazy times, but I could definitely see where it could catch up with us. Let's see here. Let's read some of these comments we got here. Let's first of all we got this is Harris is here. Stephen Hemphill. What's up? I'm still sipping. All right, Stephen. We'll wait for you, dude. David Gossman. Hey everyone. Derek Schnitsky. Hello everyone. Hey Derek. It's good to see you here. Penny Bishop. D.A. Dennis Cruz, good evening, brothers and sisters, and the man Tom. I hope everyone is doing well. Ted Watson, hey Ted. This episode brought to you by Kentucky'sBestHemp.com. Use promo code Tom30. Carrie, if you're watching, let's don't forget about our new sponsor we have here. Who heard me bragging them on the show, and they came in with a little something excited about them, and that is RAC. It's the Recovery Center. It's Robert um, uh, Alexander Center, the Robert Alexander Center, robertalexander.com. Carrie, post a link to that too if you're listening. And my good friend came in here, and I went out and took a tour of the facility. And it was James, that was Sweezy, came in, sat right here, and explained the 10th step to me like it's never been explained. He was here and can look at that. If you missed that episode, go watch that, man, because that was a powerful, powerful episode. Mike Reed is here. Gary Adams. Hey, Gary's here. Jennifer Marie Bowles is here. Hey, Jen. James Sweezy. Yeah, there you go. Tina Labate. Hey, Tina, how you doing? Hey, Sober Talk fam. Made it my first sober Christmas. Tina's been sober like 7 or 8 months. Was that right, Tina? Or going on 7? Yeah, so let's get to our next caller. I'm just reading 18 months yesterday without the use of drugs or alcohol. That's Joseph Cantrell. Congrats, Joseph. Joe Southwick, hey folks. Kenny Rice, yep. Uh, about trauma or genetic and can skip generations. That's James Sweezy. Yeah, a buddy of mine's going to be on the show next week. Never touched a drip of alcohol, and his whole family are raging drunks, heroin addicts, and everything. He's going to be in next week to talk. Uh, Carl, I got a question. What do you stand for again? Hey, folks, this is from Carl Martin. Hey, folks, listen to me if you care to. Alcohol will take you down one way or another. You may not believe me now, but one day you will. You have to work some form of structured program if you are a real alcoholic and want to stay sober. This does not mean that you have to be a prisoner of a system, but instead allows you to be free. That is so true. And I didn't want to say nothing to my friend Tess that was watching, but people who just quit cold turkey who are able to quit cold turkey. Some people aren't able to do that. And again, talk to your doctor, talk to a professional. Uh, they end up going out, and I did after 2 years. So they end up going back. They forget, and you need some kind of constant reminder, some kind of structure, be it sober talk, be it AA, be it a therapist, whatever. Definitely. There you go. RobertAlexanderCenter.com. Carrie just put. Thank you, Carrie. Um, James Sweet says alcoholism is 100% fatal if left untreated. It is. It truly is. Daryl's here. Daryl's in the house. So, all right, let's get to our second caller here, Mike Reed. Dad, what a good group we got tonight. Really, really good group. Very excited. And then we're going to touch base real quick with Brian Castleman. I just want to see where he is. I haven't talked to Brian. Not Brian. I'm sorry. Chris Castleman. Brian is going to be the next caller. So this is Chris.
Hello.
Chris, I'm checking in to see how you are. I haven't spoken to you in a tad, and we're just following up with you and see what's happening.
Oh, things are great, Tom. We're just working the plan and living life.
Good. How holidays were okay? No falling off the wagon or anything. I hope you're pretty solid in your recovery, right?
No, I just celebrated 20 years, so.
Yeah, I know. That just you always hear about. I mean, there's people. My buddy owns a treatment facility. He said there's people who've been sober for 25, 30 years, and during this whole pandemic and loss of work have fallen off. So, I haven't heard your voice in a while. I just want to call and check in. What's new with you? 20 years. What's your upkeep? What's your maintenance after 20 years of being? Yeah, what do you do to maintain that?
Well, that's an easy question, Tom. Faith. My faith in God. As long as you have a goal, as long as you have a purpose and an action, the chances of relapse are next to none. And that's what I tell folks all the time in counseling. And so I just keep my faith and my goal, and that's what keeps me going.
Right on, right on. That's cool. So you said counseling. So you teach counseling people in recovery, or you get counseling, or what do you mean by that?
Well, I give counseling to people in recovery.
Okay.
As a pastor, I do all kinds of counseling, marriage counseling, individual counseling, wellness counseling, mental recovery counseling. You name it, I pretty much do it. And,
Yeah.
I just like to see folks succeed. And
And
the holidays are hard.
Yeah. Have you noticed a pattern in people in recovery that you have been a counselor to? Have you noticed a pattern? The ones who fall off, the one who what does a successful person in recovery look like? What's their habits? What are they doing that keep them on the straight and narrow?
Well, a successful recovery is one day at a time, Tom. Pretty much. Because you face so many things. I mean, you said it yourself. People have been in recovery for years, and then one traumatic event will happen, or a series of events will happen, and then you just feel overwhelmed, and you relapse. And the thing that people need to understand is, yes, I've been in recovery for 20 years. My faith has maintained me, but if I had a series of things happen one after the other that I couldn't handle or was not expecting, you betcha, it would definitely try me and bring me close to relapse. But you just have to look at it sometimes 1 hour at a time. It's the bottom line.
Well, you just said it there. You said it there. You've been sober for 20 years. You got faith. You worked some kind of program early on. You counsel. You're constantly around this, and you're constantly reminding yourself that, hey, I have addiction issues and so that. And you said if all the stars lined up right, it would definitely tempt you, and your sobriety could be challenged. And that's what the lady we had on just before you, my friend Tess. She's like, no, I'm just done. I'm done. I'm like, oh, it scares me when I hear that, because just because you quit, like I quit for 2 years, but I never treated myself. I never, I was self-medicating with alcohol, and I kind of got used to the pain. Then that pain kind of came back up, and all of a sudden, I probably should just, one drink is going to make this go away. I want to feel much. I didn't have coping skills. My coper was broken. So I had to use alcohol to help me just deal with life, because I had no skills. And now when people tell me they just quit cold turkey and they never do anything, I just like, oh man, read a book, go to church, do something, And we have a lot of people who aren't, I'm in AA, but doesn't mean a lot of people don't do AA, and that's fine. But there needs to be some kind of structured program that they're following, just to remind them that, hey, any minute, geez, Chris Castleman's been sober for 20 years. He's a minister. He's a counselor, and he just said that the right situation could tempt you, could challenge your sobriety. So that's what I was curious about. I just think, and Carl said it best too, you got to stick with some kind of structure, and you got to have faith in something, some kind of higher power other than yourself.
Yes, sir. And the one thing, let me tell you what I tell people who say, well, I'm just done. I've had enough and I'm done. I was asking, I said, well, what are you done with? And I can't get a straight answer out of them. And I tell them, you can tell me right now that you're done, and you can go 3-4 months, even a year, being done and fed up with your situation. But to accomplish that 3-4 months to a year, all you're doing is burying the problem deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's just like a balloon. The more air you add to it without letting the air out, the more pressure builds up, the more pressure builds up, the more pressure builds up.
Right.
And then finally, all of a sudden, there's nowhere for that pressure to go, and things just blow up. So what I tell people when they say they're tired of it and they're done with it, I just tell them, well, praise God, I'm glad that you've gotten to this point. So now let's find out what it is. See, Well, I had to go through a lot of counseling myself and find out the issues from childhood that led me to those situations, that led me to the drinking, to the addiction, to trying to find different ways to cope with things I couldn't cope with. And once I found those issues and dealt with the issues themselves, well, then I was able to have a building block for sobriety. And what people don't understand, to achieve a building block for sobriety, you have to have a foundation. And that's why I tell folks, do the 12 steps, go to AA,
Yeah.
get involved with individual counseling, or start your own little group that has someone with experience who can head the group to be able to help you follow this balance in life. Because if you don't, you're going to fail every time. And I mean, I don't like to be blunt in that manner, but you have to be. And that's what I tell people.
Yeah, and I didn't want to, to talk to my friend. I didn't, I didn't want to rain on her. She celebrated 6 months today, and I'm so excited for her. But it's just, I know my history is always, unless I'm treating, what's causing me to drink in the first place, I'm eventually going to go. I always do. I always go back out. It's just, it never fails. I always go back out and I drink, and then bad things happen. And I drink and drink. Like one guy said, I just drink and drink until I get arrested or so. Then I I kind of forget that I had a drinking problem. I drink and drink and drink until I get arrested again. Knock on wood, I've never been arrested, but that's a lot of people feel that way. That's how they, that's how they kind of do it, because they're not working some kind of structured program. And that's all I want to encourage people, without being a big book thumper, Uh, but that's where I'm at with it. Well, man, Chris, I haven't heard your voice in a while. You always leave us with something really, really good. And thank you so much for picking up. And, man, have a happy new year.
Yeah, remember, Tom, 7 times a righteous man falls down.
I love this.
7 times he gets back up. So, folks, keep getting back up.
7 times a righteous man falls down. 7 times a righteous man gets back up. That is so wonderful. All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Call me anytime, Tom.
All right.
Bye.
I'll see you. Going to try to get Gary on the phone here, and then we're going to end up with talk to Brian for a little bit. I think Brian's actually coming in studio. Just he's driving up from Spartanburg. How cool is that? And going to be happy for Brian to come join us live. Yeah, and if anybody, we can talk about it. I got to do some background search to make sure you're not some kind of serial killer. But if you want to come in studio sometimes, we I'm not opposed to that. I'm totally cool with that. So there's something there. There's something fun we could do. Here we go. We are and so bam. All right, so Chris Castleman, just always a good person to speak with. Let's get Gary on here real quick. I'm gonna check with Gary. Gary's getting his pure license. He's getting in the recovery industry, and I would love for my job, my career, to be helping people. That would be so cool. That's me one day. I'm going to do that. It's going to be my job eventually, and maybe not in the next 5 years, but maybe later on in life. So let's see. We're called Gary Adams, and here we go. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Another episode of Sober Talk. This is great.
What's up, Tom?
Hey, Gary. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. I'm glad that you said you were doing that. I was sitting here eating. I was like, "Well, better hurry up and finish."
I could call you later if you're in the middle.
No. You're fine. You're fine, man. You're fine.
So, have you started taking your peer classes or whatever you're doing for the recovery career that you're going into?
No, sir. That won't be until the end of January.
End of January. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I'll go take. That's when I go to take my courses. And you've had some really good callers tonight, man. First caller was really good.
Yeah, Tess.
Your second caller.
Oh yeah, Chris Castleman. Yep.
Yeah, he's. You can tell he's got a lot of recovery under his belt. He's got a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, man, he really does. And and it helps me because I have zero recovery. I have 5 months of recovery under my belt, and people say, "Well, he doesn't know a whole lot about the steps." I'm like, "Yeah, no, dude, I'm just some dude. I'm just some dude on Facebook trying to stay sober and try to take the stigma away from it." Jeez Louise, what's up with the? Oh, he's an alcoholic. So what? Like he's got he's got a deviated septum. He can't breathe well. He's got irritable
Guess
bowel.
what?
He's got irritable bowel syndrome.
Watch what you say around the alcoholic.
Dude, we were meeting our realtor. We were trying to buy this house out in Fisherville, and we all went and met. And her daughter was there, her 20-year-old, some-year-old daughter. She said, "Hey, I got a picture of margaritas for everybody." And my realtor, Sandy, was like, "No, no, no." I'm like, "Sandy, I'm in a bar. I'm in a Mexican. I'm okay. I'm okay." It's so funny. So what's new? So I was going to ask you. Uh, my friend who called in, I didn't want to get on her case too much. I'm done. I quit. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm over. And a lot of people sometimes that can happen. And she's cool. She's totally cool. Uh, let me see if our live feed just went out. Looks like something's weird. I'm curious. What do you tell people who aren't working some kind of structured program, something? I feel like they need to do something, right?
Well, like Chris said, you're merely, because the alcoholism is merely a symptom of the true problem usually.
Right.
And the true problem, if those aren't addressed, what we call the emotional barometer, more times than not, it's going to pop. And if somebody's bent on doing it their way and they're just going to quit, and I've had enough and I'm done with it. My eventual thing is best of luck. But you're going to be faced with a lot of things. Down the road, they can lead you right back to either the self-medicating or just hitting the F it button and saying I need a drink. I've had enough.
Yes.
I had a coworker today that I've worked with for a couple of years, and he knows that I've been through recovery and everything, and he knows my journey. And we were talking at lunch today, and he said, "Man," he said, "I got a question." He said, "Are you ever going to get to the point where you
have a couple beers?"
Yeah, where you drink a couple, have a couple of beers or have a couple of drinks, and then put it down, and then maybe a few days later or a week later or even a month later, do you think you'll ever get back to where you'll drink again? And I was like, no. I said, no, I can't. I said, I don't have that. I said, I suffer from a disease. I was like, and if I take a drink, I said, I might be able to drink a drink, drink one beer or drink one shot. I was like, and think that I have it under control. I said, but I won't. I said, and I can guarantee you, if I start drinking again, that binge is coming.
It's like asking it's like asking someone in a wheelchair who paralyzed from the neck down. Hey, let me ask you, you think one day you'll ever be able to run marathons again? And they don't get it. People just I can't do it. It's obvious. Maybe that's a bad example, but it's we could go out and drink again, but we will be in a wheelchair or we'll be dead because we can't drink like normal people. And James Sweezy was saying this the other day. We have a lot of people watching the show who aren't alcoholics. They're on Molly, they're on meth, they're on heroin or whatever. And with alcohol, we were able to. It was more acceptable. It didn't kill us. It was we were committing suicide on the installment plan. And the whole but these kids, man, they're going out getting addicted to meth and they're dying. They're falling off like flies. I mean, there's a constant. My buddies in law enforcement, they're constantly finding some kid dead from. So it's just we could go out and have a slower death than if we were doing heroin. I'm not justifying it. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. It just made me think about, you think you could ever just do heroin casually? Just go out with friends and just do a little bit of heroin. That's not like that. But I'm sorry, Gary. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
Throw me
I
a
had
rope. I'm dying here. I went down a
one,
wormhole. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Carl's asking if I
one of
have
my
bourbon in my Diet Coke. No, Carl, it's just Coke Zero Sup.
one of my mentors has he put it to me really plainly. You know, when talking about we were talking about people thinking that they can drink again, because that's addressed in the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book.
Uh-huh.
And he said, if you think you can try some controlled, if you think you can drink again, try it. See if you can do some controlled drinking, and see how that winds up for you. But it was put to me, a cucumber can be turned into a pickle, but you can't turn a pickle back into a cucumber once it's been pickled. And that's kind of the way, where I am. I mean, I just have to accept that fact. And when you don't accept that fact, you think that you can control it. That's the addiction telling you lies. Half of my mind will produce bullshit, and the other half of my mind will buy it wholesale.
Right. And you know what? I suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder and Tourette's and ADHD and everything. And what I'm finding that now that I'm not drinking is that my meds are actually working now. My OCD has definitely dissipated, but has gone 60% 70% maybe. It's just everything gets better once you stop.
That's one of the things that I've noticed by knowing you personally, and then knowing and watching the show on Facebook Live, is your tics are reducing as well. How you calm down a lot, because I started in on with the show.
Yeah.
When we played the Cancer Fest, I started around that time. I started watching it. I think you were at episode 26.
Maybe. Yeah.
When I started watching it,
Mm-hmm.
and you weren't even 60 days in yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you really, kind of, you can tell that you're starting to get somewhat of a balance to your system.
Yeah, I'm still me. I'm still last night someone made a comment on our Monday's night show that says Mabe is so uncomfortable in his skin, it's hard to watch. I'm like, screw you, dude. I mean, this is whatever. It's probably just someone jealous because I was sober. But I'm still me, but I'm not as bad. But mainly I've noticed is just my thinking. I would mind screw every single thing and just constantly. And my poor son, he's never touched a drop of alcohol in his life. And his OCD is something that we have, and he will eventually start self-medicating. And hopefully we find the right medication to help him that's not, bourbon. So. But thanks for saying that. That means a lot. And I'm getting, I still have my stressful days. I had a very Monday night I came home from, last night, I didn't have sober talk, so I was kind of out of sorts. I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until the first of the year. Then we're back on 5 nights a week at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I just lost Gary. And what happened to Gary? That's powdered sugar from. All right. So I will. Hey guys, welcome back to Sober Talk. We just lost our call. Here. Hello, it's Tom. Hold on, Gary. Hold on here. I'm trying to get you. Are you there?
Yeah, you were talking, and then all of a sudden, I was hearing Sober Talk on my phone again. I was like, "What just happened?"
No, but I don't. I just lost you. And your phone came up no caller ID this time, so maybe something's going on funky. I got Brad Cassetto coming in. We have our tech coming tomorrow. Now that I picked up a couple little sponsors, and I'm able to have a couple things fixed that I wasn't able to. You've been here. It's Sober Talk. It's a production company that I pay a lot of bills on. So now we got a guy coming in tomorrow and going to hardwire the Ethernet to the computer and whatnot. And we should be better after tomorrow. But yeah, I was just thanking you for noticing that. That means a lot. And I was saying I still get stressed out. Last night I had a really hard time. I was very stressed. And tonight I just needed some alone time. And my kids kept on coming in, guys, can I just have 5 minutes, just 5, 10 minutes. I just need to meditate, and I got this app I'm meditating, and because life is still hard, I got college coming up with Mackenzie, and although she got one hell of a scholarship to her college of choice, she is so great.
Yeah,
I
congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, she's got a 4.2 average. She kept all the way through high school, but it's still, I'm a self-employed dude, and every single one of my shows have been canceled. So I'm really getting very creative, and and just making sure I keep everything. People who rent our places, they don't have money. It's just things are, it's the world is a little challenging right now. So I've been taking it on the chin a little bit. But anyway, everything is good. But thanks for noticing that. Well, cool, brother. Well, anything else going on in your world?
No, just work as usual. And one of the things that moving forward, with living sober or clean, one of the best things that a person can do, aside from doing the step work, and part of this is entailed in the step work, is the 12 step, is helping others.
Yeah.
When you help other people, it tends to lessen your problems. When I go down and back in January, we'll be doing the meeting again that I do on Thursday nights, and when I go in, I see people that are in a lot worse shape than me, and it does a couple of different things. It humbles me. It lessens my problems. I'm worried about, because I had a hard day at work, and this guy is still going through the shakes from trying to get sober. And it helps. And then to see someone come in that is beat up and in terrible shape like I was,
Yeah.
both mentally and physically, and then to watch them get sober in front of your eyes, and the light come on in their eyes,
Yeah.
and they start to get it, and they pursue it.
God, I know.
That makes
I got
that makes it
goosebumps,
worth
man,
it.
because I've seen it and people have seen it myself, and that's freaking awesome. Yeah.
I've got a few guys that have over a year sober, and I've watched them go from the bottom and pick themselves back up, and have a productive life and a happy life in their family, and getting the things that they were wasting away, get those things back. And it's not an easy process, and the days aren't always good. At 2.5 years, I just hit 2.5 years sober, and at 2.5 years sober, but I don't have the compulsion to want to medicate or escape from it. Those problems have to be met and faced and gone through. And today when I answered him, there was no hesitation when I looked at him. I just said, no. I said, I won't drink again. I can't. I said, not only will I not, I can't. I said, because I know where it's going to take me, and what happens with not working a program, eventually that disease will tell you, you've got this.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth following all. And and if you do and you need help, reach out to someone. We've got so many people here to get help.
And you get so far away from sobriety date. I'm 2.5 years away from my sobriety date, and I find myself at times, my mind trying to lessen what I went through, and I keep my detox picture in my phone down at it. From time to time, I'll look at that detox picture. I can't forget the pain and the misery and the loss that I was at that brought me to my knees. And I cannot forget that, because the minute that I do, I'm doomed to start repeating the steps. And I don't, that's not in the cards for me, because I'm the type of alcoholic that will drink to death.
Yeah.
And that's the big book tells us, it fails institutions or death. And that's, you've always got to keep that in your mind of how insidious is.
It's crazy, and it's just robbing people of. I had a buddy from high school call the other day. He goes, "Tom, I need help," and he's crying. And he goes, "So how much are you drinking, brother?" He goes, "Like 19 drinks a day." I'm not talking 19 beers, 19 drinks a day, stout drinks, and we got through to him, and it's just so. But he He was ready. He's my age. He's like, dude, I'm done. I'm like, I haven't heard from this guy. And I think I spoke with him maybe 20 years ago, but he knew we were doing the sober talk and whatnot, and we still hang out with mutual people. And I said, do you want some help? And he goes, yeah, that's why I'm calling. Want some help? And we got him hooked up. Uh,
You know, and at 19 drinks a day, that that's coming a cold turkey off that can kill you.
oh yeah, and
You know,
there's no way
uh,
he was worried about his job, and we got in, and James Sweezy worked with him, and he went to his bosses, and they were like happy for him. No, dude, we just want you to get better. You don't get fired. You don't. They can't fire you for getting help for something like that. I think. Let me ask you: can they fire you if you're drunk on the job? But if you go to them and go, I got a drinking problem, I need help, they can't fire you, correct? Do you know much about that?
uh, that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, well, that's James coming back. He's coming in New Year's Eve. We'll discuss that. So, brother, thank you so much. I love you. I'm glad you're doing well, and congrats on 2.5 years.
Oh, and you congrats on 5 months, Tom. Love you, brother. We'll talk again real soon, man. You know me, man. My phone, if I'm available, I'm always up for it.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Have a good night. We got Michael Meehan here and Chris Money's in the audience. There, we're going to have those boys back up back down from French Lick soon enough. I'm hoping that my friend, my co-host, Jeff Graham is back in. His father is elderly and he lives in California, and Jeff went out to spend the holidays with him, so he's coming back this week. He'll be back on the show next week. But let's. Josh Graves, 90% of my health issues that I thought I had went away when I stopped drinking and drugging. That's Josh Graves. Josh Graves, wow, buddy. Yeah, Josh, I want to have you back on the show. Is there any way I can call you? We can call you. You just had I remember just really enjoying your share. All you guys, I love all you guys, and I'm so glad that you're here and we're hanging out. And this is some kind of structure. It's a stepping stone for some people. They'll go on to. A lot of people are struggling right now, are watching this show, and they're going to go into some kind of treatment facility for 45 days or something, or they're going to go detox somewhere or something. This is just a way to make you, hey, we all have this exact same issues that you have, and you're not alone, and it's really, it's nothing to be embarrassing about. Well, what's being embarrassing if you don't help yourself? You have the options of helping yourself, and you don't. That's pretty bad. So real quick, I want to give a shout out to my primary sponsor right now this month, and it's Kentucky'sBestHemp.com, and it's actually it's KYS like Kentucky, KYS besthemp.com. If you do buy CBD, please try those guys out, and upon checkout, use promo code TOM30. And KYSBestHemp.com, Tom30, and you'll get 30% off your whole bill. So that's kind of cool. So I want to just call, I told this guy I was going to call him. I just want to touch base real quick to see if for sure if he's coming in, and then we'll call it a night, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to call Carl, too. I got to call Carl. I haven't talked to that Carl. Carl, if you're around, pick up.
Hello.
Mr. Biggerstaff, how are you, brother?
Hey, how you doing now?
I just want. Are you making the trip next week? Are you really coming down? Coming up?
Yes, Monday. Monday.
You're coming up Monday.
Coming up Monday.
I'm gonna say I'm trying to think. You're for the show Monday night. Got it. Okay. Coming up Monday. You grabbing a hotel room? You gonna stay next door? You're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay next door.
There's a Best Western. There's a place across the street, really fancy. It's got a red roof and everything, man. It's awesome. I'm teasing.
A whole red roof.
Now we have a Best Western that's really nice, really clean. A lot of our guests for other businesses will stay there. It's not like it's a very. We're in a pretty plush part of town. We're in the east end of Louisville, and across the street there's what do you call that? What's that big Marriott? Really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Best Western is fine, and they got a free breakfast. So, well, cool. I'm just confirming Monday, and I really have nothing else. Everything good with you?
Yeah, everything's going real good. It's a great show tonight.
It was good. I'm sorry to put you off, but I just realized wanted to make sure that you were coming. So we'll talk over the weekend, and we'll get you directions and everything. I did a background check. All the rest that you have were just alcohol related. It wasn't like psychotic, murder,
Exactly.
stuff like that. So I appreciate you. We'll see you Monday.
All right. And like you said, we'll touch base sometime this weekend.
Yeah, sounds good, buddy. Appreciate it, Brown.
Good time to you, brother.
All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye. So let's see if Mr. Carl picks up. Like wrapping up my show with Carl real quick. Let's just call. Let's see here. He may or may not pick up.
Hey, Tom.
Is this Carl? Is this the person I'm supposed to be talking to? Is this Carl?
The Best Western.
Dude, it's a nice Best Western. It's his money.
Tom,
What?
I just heard that.
Maybe
That's what we're
James Sweezy could put him up in a room in his treatment facility over there, RAC. James, if you're listening,
Yeah.
we might have a little racket going here with guests coming in. Teasing. That's awesome. How you doing, brother? You doing all right?
No, I'm doing all right.
Your dad got the COVID.
Yeah, he got that, and he got pneumonia, and so and he's got a few other things come, and
How old
So
is your dad's 83?
84,
84.
and yeah, and the thing is, Tom, he is a still go getter. I mean, 2 days ago he was talking about hey, here's what I want to do. I want to bring business back. I've got my clients, I've got my customers, and we were all just going along with it. And it's sad, Tom, to see a man go from what he was, and he was an alcoholic. He quit drinking 43 years ago, and I don't know that he ever changed the way he did change some things, but
Yeah. Well, maybe you know that you don't know. Just pray and know that you don't know, man. And hey, real quick, can I break screw? We got a new person here. He says,
yeah.
he says, I spent months in my local VA. I'm a combat vet, and I have been an alcoholic for the last 10 plus years. God, I want to know this guy. I want this guy on the show. I know you as a goof and as a jokester. Hell, what vet isn't a jokester? But I honestly enjoy your refreshing, straightforward program. If you can't have humor and sobriety, then you're screwed. That's CJ.
Yeah.
CJ, thanks for CJ Dilling. I have a couple of CJs in the group, but man, I really hope that all works out. And what's the latest? Have you talked to? He's in the. Is he in the?
Yes, he is. And that'll all work out the way it's supposed to be, Tom.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But man, this combat vet, I'm just reading his post.
CJ Dillon, yeah. He's still an alcoholic. Boy, CJ, reach out to me, buddy. Get in our private group, man. Get in that private group. There's a lot of people in there.
We're all hurting, brother. You're not the only one, so join us all. Please, CJ. Goodness, I'm just reading the last 10 plus years. I know you are as a goof and the jokester. Hell, what
vet isn't? Yeah, I know a lot of vets, and they you have to joke to deal with the stuff they dealt with. And hey, real quick, another sponsor I have, Carl. This is so great. People who are reaching out to me. I was just talking about this hemp company and CBD that we and now they're a sponsor. And again, this is not like GE sponsoring a show or anything, but this is good. It's like I can bring people in now and really look to hire the right. I'm bringing a consultant in tomorrow with the money I've gotten from KYSBestHemp.com. And now we got RAC. It's RAC stands for Robert Alexander Center. Robert Alexander Center, Alexander with a D Center, and I got to tour their facility, and I joke about it. So man, when I relapse, I'm going back. I'm going there. That place is great. But and they deal with people from all around the country, and they'll find them a place in there. There's sometimes there's a Medicaid situation doesn't cross state lines, so they'll get them hooked up in a facility in their area, and they're just great. We're all trying to help each other. And my goal is to be in the recovery business. That's what I want to do. I want that to be my career one day. I really want it to be, I would love to be able to make a living off helping people. But,
well, that's where you're headed, Tom. I mean, sure enough, people can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter what they care or say, but you are headed that way. And, brother, I tell you what, you're going to make a difference in this world.
I hope so. How cool would that be? Like you texted me one night. You say, "Here you are. You were this raging drunk, and you had to get there to do this." Well, how about that? Made me feel funny and weird and happy at the same time. I didn't know what was going on.
You're on the way, my man.
Yeah. All right, brother. I just wanted to hear your voice and just touch base with you. I'm 11 minutes over. So everything else good with you?
Everything's going good.
Well, keep your dad in my prayers and positive thoughts, and I will talk with you soon, buddy.
Yeah, please do, Tom. All right, good night, folks.
See you, buddy. I'll call you on the way home. Bye.
All right, bye.
Well, there you go, folks. You have watched another episode of Sober Talk Live on Facebook. We do have a podcast, and to find that podcast, you could go to sobertalklive.com. That is sobertalklive.com, and you could click over to